are here to take on the Red Sox in Grapefruit League action. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox Baseball. Well, the competition continues for the Red Sox rotation, and today we see Alfredo Aceves.
And it has been intense competition over the last couple of weeks, and it's going to get even more intense with the week coming up. And Alfredo Aceves today gets a start for the Red Sox. You see his career numbers, much more work out of the bullpen, obviously, where he's got a 22-2 record as a starter, only 2-1, a 2.62 as a reliever, 4.18 as a starter. Now, we don't have any idea right now whether Aceves is going to be in that starting rotation, but we certainly know one thing, that he's capable of doing that. We saw last year that he could do everything for the Red Sox, work out of the bullpen, he can close games, he can start games, and I think right now he's definitely in competition for a starting role in the top 5 for the Boston Red Sox.
Well, today we'll get a good look at him and the Philadelphia Phillies when we come back to JetBlue Park right after this. Boston Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. New England Chevy dealers. Ace Ticket. New Balance, the official footwear and apparel sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. New Balance, let's make excellent happen. And by Bob's Discount Furniture. Alfredo Aceves makes his way in, along with the assistant pitching coach Randy Neiman and Kelly Shopik, who will be doing the catching today for Alfredo Aceves as he vies for the number 5 spot in the rotation, or in the rotation at all is where he wants to be. And last year, of course, the 4 start for Aceves. And Terry, here we are on this March 24th, and still no definitive word as to where it's headed, although it has dwindled a little bit.
It has. You know, you've got a couple of guys working today. There's a split squad for the Red Sox. Felix Doubront is working in one game at Miami, and of course Alfredo Aceves in this ball game here against the Phillies, and both guys shooting for a spot in the starting rotation. So as we get closer and closer, it seems like people are starting to wean themselves out of that spot, and others seem to be jumping into it, and Aceves, I would think, would be in that category. We showed you the graphic in the open where he's had so much success out of the bullpen, so valuable out of there, but there's no reason to think that he also can't be effective as a starting pitcher also.
Now, the Red Sox still have plenty of games to play down here in spring training before we get ready for the regular season. Here is the remaining schedule down here before the Red Sox will have an exhibition game in Washington on Tuesday. And then it is off to Detroit to begin the season. The Tigers for 3, the Blue Jays for 3, before the Red Sox will finally have their home opener against Tampa Bay on Friday the 13th. And Tampa Bay will be in town to begin the home schedule as the Red Sox wrap up spring training down here. First year at JetBlue Park, and Mentioned that the Red Sox are also over against Miami today in Jupiter, Florida, and there is Bobby Valentine. He is with that team today. So his bench coach, Tim Bogar, is at the helm of the Red Sox here today at home at JetBlue Park here at Fenway South. Red Sox about to take the field, led by Alfredo Aceves. And Tim Bogar, who of course last year was the third base coach, moved to the bench coach under Bobby Valentine, a guy that he had played for briefly with the Mets, and so far has done a very good job. It is his job really to run spring training and get everything scheduled, which is not easy with the number of people that are in spring training right out of the gate, but by all accounts has done a very good job.
He was talking this morning about how everybody today on the roster is being used, either in the game over at in Miami or the game right here at the JetBlue Ballpark. And he was asked about his relationship with Bobby Valentine. He said it's a learning experience. He's known Bobby for a long time, but he's trying to guess with him in the dugout, see exactly what he wants to do at certain times. So it's also a learning process for the coaches working with a new manager.
The Red Sox take the field here today at JetBlue Park. Let's check out the visiting Philadelphia Phillies starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Shane Victorino is in center field, leading it off with Juan Pierre, the DH. Hunter Pence came over from the Astros at the trade deadline last year. He's in right field. Lance Nix, the former Ranger, at first base. John Mayberry Jr. in left, with Carlos Ruiz doing the catching, batting sixth. Pete Orr is at third base, batting seventh. Freddie Galvis at second base, eighth, and Miguel Abreu at shortstop rounds out the starting nine for the Philadelphia Phillies. On the mound for the Red Sox is Alfredo Aceves. His fourth game of the spring, but just his second start. Earned run average of 1, no record so far. He's gone 9 innings. As we mentioned last year, total 4 starts for him, 51 relief appearances a year ago, and vying for a spot in the rotation as we get deep into spring training.
The Red Sox defense, they've made 11 errors in the 20 games they've played so far this spring. Kevin Youkilis will be at third base. Mike Aviles, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second. And Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman. Left to right, Josh Kroger, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Donnell McDonald. And Kelly Shopik doing the catching for Aceves.
Well, the umpiring crew here today, Adam Amari has home plate with Brian O'Nora at first base, Tim Timmons at second base, and Chad Whitson is the umpire at third. Yeah, lots of sunshine here today at JetBlue Park. Some clouds as well above as Shane Victorino stands in to get it started. First pitch from Aceves misses for ball one, and we are underway. Shane Victorino last year hitting at .279 with 17 homers, 61 runs driven in. He's had a .244 spring, 11 for 45 so far during the spring.
And of course, with his speed and bunting ability, Kevin Youkilis in very tight at third base and on the grass.
Give you an idea of how fast Victorino is and his bunting ability. Guy batting behind him generally leads off whatever lineup he is in, and Juan Pierre waits on deck. Another guy who's got lots of speed, very good bunting ability, a lot of infield hits. And over the course of his career, watched him play last year as a member of the Chicago White Sox. 4 straight balls to begin the outing for Aceves.
And Aceves high with just about every pitch in that at bat to Victorino. So trying to settle into this ball game.
So the lead runner on here for the Phillies in the first, and it brings up Juan Pierre. 257 so far during the spring, 9 for 35. He's now 34 years old as Victorino gets a huge secondary lead, and first strike of the day for Aceves.
Yeah, a couple of steps towards second base as if he was going to be trying to steal. That's trying to pull one of those middle infielders out of position.
We're talking about the bunting ability of Juan Pierre. Last year led the American League in bunt hits, 19. Led the league in infield hits with 46, with 19 sacrifices. Another pitch high from Aceves. Able to pick up his 2,000th career hit last year in September against the Cleveland Indians. And again, last year he was a member of the Chicago White Sox. It's away, and it's 2-1. So far, only one strike has been thrown by Aceves.
This will be interesting to watch Kelly Shopping and Aceves this afternoon, because Alfredo likes to throw his own game. He does a lot of shaking off.
Runner goes, a grounder foul as he fouls it off himself. That time Victorino was off at first base. The Phillies, who train in Clearwater and have for 66 years. In fact, only the Detroit Tigers have trained at their current spring training home longer, Lakeland, Florida. Aceves ready with the 2-2. In the air down the right field line towards the corner. It is a fair ball. It jumps up into the seats for a ground rule double. And a fast start for the Phillies. It'll be second and third with nobody out. Right down the line for Juan Pierre.
Yeah, it didn't sound very good on contact, but it was able to stay in fair territory. That ball inside, and Pierre somehow keeping it fair. It looked like he was going to pull that ball foul because of the location of the pitch, but it stays fair and bounces in the stands for the ground rule double. So a very quick start for the Phillies.
Second and third, nobody out. And Hunter Pence came over at the trade deadline last year from the Astros. A big pickup for the Phillies. 283 spring so far with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. He's 15 for 53. Last year on his second career National League All-Star team. And Aceves missing again. So far the control has not been there for him.
Looks like he's been getting underneath a lot of fastballs because they're rising up and out of the strike zone. Dropping the elbow a little bit.
That's a strike over the outside corner, and it's a ball and a strike now to Pence. Really, it appears the job is down to 3, maybe 4 guys. You're talking about Bard, Dubront, Aceves, who we see today, and whether or not Aaron Cook could be ready for the beginning of the season. He would be the 4th guy, but talking about 4 guys for 2 spots in the rotation. This is in the dirt, and Shopping with a nice sprawling play to his right saves a run right there, and it is still 2-2.
Very nice play by Kelly Shopping, sliding to his right, able to block the ball, the breaking ball from Aceves. Slider, and he's able to catch that ball as he slides to his right, save that run for third base from scoring.
Swing and a miss, and Pence strikes out, so Aceves needed that. He battles back with the K.
Pence had a pretty good pitch to hit. It was a breaking ball that stayed up in the zone, but no contact from Pence, and a huge strikeout right there early in the ball game for Aceves.
Second and third, one down for Lance Nix. Nix last year playing for the Washington Nationals. Inside, and it gets away. Here comes Victorino to throw the plate, and he is safe. Just got in. Aceves covered the plate. Close play at the plate, but Victorino gets in, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead.
I think that ended up being a little bit closer than Victorino anticipated. The ball right here, Shopping gets to it pretty quickly, gives it to Aceves. No slide, just a touch of home plate, and the Phillies pick up a run.
Wild pitch charge to Aceves leads to the Phillies' first run of the day, and Juan Pierre takes third base.
Looked like Aceves was anticipating a slide, which I think everybody was, but there was no slide by Victorino.
Lance Nix signed by the Phillies as a free agent to a 2-year deal. Looking at the big leagues with the Texas Rangers. One hopper that is picked by Gonzalez. He's coming home with it. And they've got Pierre trapped between third and home. Youkilis will tag him out. Up to second base on the play goes Lance Nix. Gonzalez had it in his head right away. He was coming home with it after he made the nice pick.
Yeah, and he was playing back, too, and that's one thing that Adrian Gonzalez can do. I mean, he can throw to third base when there's a man on second, and even when he's playing back with a man on third, he is not afraid to make those throws home. They got Pierre locked up in a rundown. They finally do tag him out, and the runner Nix does get to second base in scoring position. But Gonzalez saving a run right there, even though he was playing back.
So 2 down here in the first inning. Lance Nix at second base, and John Mayberry Jr. the batter. Aceves starts off ahead. He has been behind most so far in this first inning, but ahead of Mayberry Jr., who so far during the spring is 12 for 52. 28-year-old. Last year with the Phillies. Parts of the last 3 seasons in Philadelphia. Pitch is high, and it's 2-1. Well, Jerry, a little bit later in the game, we're going to introduce everybody to our new NESN reporter, Jenny Dell. Very excited to have her along with us and get a chance to meet with her.
And very excited to be on air for the first time in our Red Sox telecast.
Mayberry puts a charge into this deep center field. Ellsbury going back at the wall. It's high off the wall. Easily scoring from second is Nix. It's a long RBI single for Mayberry Jr. And the Philadelphia Phillies are out to a 2-0 lead in the first.
I couldn't tell if Mayberry was running or not, but he only ends up at first base on this ball. It was hit very hard towards center field off that center field wall, and I don't know if he missed first base or not, but had to go back and re-tag. Ellsbury spinning around, getting the ball back in. They were lining up for the cutoff at third base, but no play as Mayberry just stops at first base. I think he missed the first base bag down and went back to re-tag.
So 2 down, 2 runs in. Mayberry at first. There's Carlos Ruiz, the Phillies catcher. And that's in there for strike 1. Ruiz having a very good spring, 11 for 23, works out to be 478. Now on the ground towards Aviles. He will go the easy way to second to end the inning. But the Phillies grab 2 in the top of the first. Red Sox are coming up from JetBlue Park. Start today for the Philadelphia Phillies, out to a 2-0 advantage right out of the gate. 2 runs on 2 hits. And they got Cole Hamels on the mound today. 4 starts during the spring, 0-1 with a 3.86 earned run average. 28-year-old Cole Hamels went 14-9 with a 2.79 earned run average in 32 games, 31 starts for the Phillies last year. Here's a pop-up for Jacoby Ellsbury in foul ground. Carlos Ruiz puts it away. Let's check out the starting 9 for the Red Sox, brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury is just fouled out, while Dustin Pedroia is about to step in. He's at second base. Kevin Youkilis at third. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Darnell McDonald in right. Kelly Shopik does the catching with Mike Aviles at short, and Nick Punto, the DH today, bats 8th. Josh Kroger is in left field. He bats 9th. Great to see Dustin Pedroia back in the starting lineup for the Red Sox after being struck in the forearm the other night against New York. Missed 2 days and back in the lineup today. And this really was kind of a scary thing at the time, but the X-rays were negative, and Pedroia's back in there today.
Yeah, at the time it was hard to tell whether it was the wrist or the forearm, and fortunately it was for the forearm. And Pedroia just missing the 1 game and being back in the lineup, so that's certainly good news for Dustin, as he declared himself ready to go today for this ball game.
Hamels with a 1-2 pitch. Down and in. And it's 2-2. Hamels on his second National League All-Star team last year. Finished 5th in the NL Cy Young Award balloting. And last year enjoyed his best earned run average of 2.79 ERA. Also had 3 complete games last year for the Phillies. Fifth straight season he was able to get double digits in victories, as he finished 14-9, and it's the second time in his career that he had 14 wins. The most he's ever had was 07 when he was 15-5. Swing and a miss. Pedroia strikes out. First K for Hamels, 2 down.
That's a very good changeup from Cole Hamels. He throws that pitch a lot. He'll throw it to right-handers, to left-handers. And gets the strikeout that time to Pedroia on the off-speed pitch.
6'3", 200-pound Cole Hamels with a pitch for strike one to Kevin Youkilis. This lineup we're starting to see a little bit more of, Jerry. It's now been 3 or 4 games in a row that we have seen Ellsbury, Pedroia, Youkilis, and Gonzalez, and you have to start to wonder if this will be the way the first 4 work.
Well, it's a lineup that was used quite a bit last year, and so far, as you're right, Don, the last 2 or 3 games that we've had on television, when this combination has been together, this is the way that it's been. Following Gonzalez, of course, Ortiz, who is not in the lineup today, not in this lineup.
Yeah, Youkilis 5 for 25 so far during the spring. Last year in his shortened season hit .258 and had the sports hernia surgery. Line off a hop off Galvis. It kicks off him, and on is Youkilis. The soft liner, short hops. Galvis at second base can't handle it.
You could see that Galvis was having trouble with that right off contact because it was toward the end of the bat. You could see right there of Kevin Youkilis, and he didn't know whether to come in and play it in the air or stay back and play it on the bounce. He got caught in between and makes the error.
So a 2-out base runner here for the Red Sox, and here's Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian 8 for 24 so far during the spring. After a very good first year in a Red Sox uniform, .338. And 27 home runs, 117 runs batted in. Totally different spring for Adrian Gonzalez. He is fully healthy. You may remember last year coming off the major shoulder surgery and still was kind of weak shoulder-wise to begin last year's spring training and through a lot of spring, and kind of hampered him a little bit in the second half of the season as well. But has appeared to be very healthy throughout the spring schedule so far.
I think if he had to do it all over again, he probably would not partake in that home run hitting contest at the All-Star game.
Ended up with a total of 27 home runs. Hooks it foul on the ground.
Still looking for his first home run of the spring.
Off the end of the bat, foul, still 2-2. Now coming up a little bit later, we're going to talk live with Chenny Dell, our new sideline reporter here at Nesson. Two to Gonzalez. On the ground and foul again.
Let's take a look at the Phillies defense. Pete Orr will be at third base. Miguel Abreu, the shortstop. Freddie Galvis at second. And Lance Nix, the first baseman. John Mayberry Jr. in left field. Shane Victorino in center. And Hunter Pence, the right fielder. And Carlos Ruiz doing the catching for Cole Hamels.
A little breezy out there in the monster seats. Top the monster today at JetBlue Park. Very warm breeze. Full count out, Adrian Gonzalez. Darnell McDonald, who's had a great spring, 12 for 24 during the spring, waits on deck with a lot of power. There's ball 4 to Gonzalez. So an error and a walk, and all of a sudden with 2 outs, the Red Sox have 2 men on. Well, McDonald 12 for 24 during the spring. 500, 2 homers, 3 runs batted in, and he has come into this spring kind of on a mission of sorts, certainly to make this team and open the eyes of Bobby Valentine. After a quiet season last year for the most part, he hit .236 at the end of the year, although he had a good second half.
Now, Valentine had some strange comments about Darnell earlier in camp. He said he liked what he saw 2 years ago, but not very much of what he saw last year or heard about. And Darnell has come into spring training and really has had a great spring, just forcing Bobby Valentine to put him on the ball club.
Yeah, he's looked at the roster. He knows Cody Ross is on there. He knows that Ryan Sweeney is on there. He knows that Carl Crawford likely not beginning the year healthy. As this one is fouled off to the right, not play, and he's really trying to fight his way on the team.
Well, the spring numbers have anything to do with it. He's on, because he has been one of the best offensive players for Boston all spring training long.
One problem he may have is if Jose Iglesias does make the team, Mike Aviles is then a utility guy, and Mike Aviles has outfield experience, and they have used him during winter ball in the outfield. That would take another outfield spot perhaps away. So a lot of moving parts here still to go in the last week of spring training. As McDonald pops it up, foul off third. Pete Orr will put it away, and Hamels is out of a jam in the first. Done with one. The Phillies have a 2-0 lead. Fans, now you'll never miss another Sox game. Go to NESN.com/schedule now to download the full season schedule onto your favorite calendar program. At home or in the office or on the go. We'll remind you when the game is on. Download it now at NESN.com/schedule. Well, great to have with us here in the booth Didier Morais, who is blogging as we speak. This is live blogging as it happens. And so far, I think he's found it very boring here in the booth with you and me, Jerry.
He's not smiling. He should be smiling.
Having a terrible time. He's bored.
Blog up here in the booth.
It's a boring broadcast. Pete Orr, who made the catch to end last inning, leads it off here for the Phillies. Orr, Galvis, and Abreu. Orr 9 for 33 so far during the spring. He was in 46 games last year with the Phillies. It's a fly ball to deep center field. Ellsbury going back at the wall. It's gone. Straightaway center field. Another long ball to center. The first was high off the wall. This one gets out of here. And the Phillies out to the 3-0 advantage against Alfredo Aceves.
Well, you know, this afternoon is a little bit like Boston in the summer. That breeze blowing straight out towards center field. And this ball hit pretty well by Orr. There's no question about that, but it also got some help from that breeze and pushed it over that center field wall. Ellsbury going back as far as he can, runs out of real estate, and the home run for Pete Orr.
So 3-0. Phillies on top. Freddie Galvis. 12 for 51 so far during the spring, and last year spent time at A-ball and Double-A. Mentioned the Red Sox in a split squad today, playing in Jupiter. And Austin Kearns has hit a home run there against Felix Doubront. So you got a couple of guys vying for a spot in the rotation today who have both surrendered home runs. Felix Doubront in Jupiter and Alfredo Aceves here in Fort Myers. Galvis turns on this down the right field line towards the pole and gone. It is inside the pole. Back to back go the Phillies in the second. And it's 4-0 Philadelphia.
Well, Galvis certainly not known for his power, but power's up here against Aceves. Aceves gets the ball inside. That's where he wanted it. It's a little bit higher than he'd probably like it. And Galvis hooking the ball down that right field line for the home run. So back to back here in the second inning for the Phillies.
Still nobody out. And it brings up Miguel Abreu. Abreu, the shortstop. 5 at-bats during the spring training major league portion. And lifts the fly ball out to center field. Shading his eyes is Ellsbury as he pulls it in. I want to remind you that this copyright telecast is presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Counts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. So 2 runs in on back-to-back solo shots. 1 out for Shane Victorino. And he gets hit with a pitch after the back-to-back home runs.
And after squaring around to bunt, too, he had no way of getting out of the way. Victorino squares around the bunt, the fastball inside, and gets him right off the leg, it looks like, up around the thigh area.
So 1 out, Victorino at first base, and Juan Pierre coming up. It's not been a good start so far today for Alfredo Aceves. Pierre with a double his first time up down the right field line.
Good time to check on a guy after a guy gets hit by a pitch. He likes to run. Likes to get back right at the pitcher by stealing second base.
There he goes. The pitch is a strike, and the throw is not going to be in time. Victorino steals second base.
You can almost book it, Don. You know, guys that can run, when they get hit by a pitch, the first thing they want to do is steal second base. Now, this throw looks like it beats Victorino to the bag, but the shortstop Aviles out in front of the bag, and the slide goes around toward the center field part of the bag. So Victorino beats it out for the stolen base.
To right field. McDonald coming in. He'll make the catch, and Victorino back to the bag at second, but McDonald throws to second just to be sure. 2 down. So Juan Pierre is retired, and it's getting easier. Hunter Pence coming up. That struck out swinging in the first inning. The only strikeout so far today for Alfredo Aceves. There's strike one as he starts off ahead. Phillies got 2 runs in the first. So far, 2 runs here in the second inning. Aceves jumps ahead 0-2. Lance Nix waiting on deck. Mentioned that Alfredo Aceves 4 starts last year. His first 2 starts last year, he allowed only 2 runs in 12 innings. And then in the last 2, he allowed 12 runs in 10 innings. So valuable out of the pen last year, so much so that he didn't get into the rotation in September. Had 17 relief appearances that lasted more than 2 innings. This is to left and struck well. Kroger looks up and it's high up off the wall. Around from second base comes Victorino. Throw to second is not in time. And the Phillies are out to a 5-0 lead.
That looked to be a changeup that time from Aceves that got a lot of the middle of the plate. And Pence doing a good job staying back on it. Hits it very hard off that screen on the left field wall. So the hit mounted a stolen base, and now the double and another run for the Phillies.
Here's Lance Nix. And he lines it into right field. Round from second base comes Pence. McDonald's throw will go to second, and Philadelphia out to a 6-0 lead. A lot of these hits have not been softies.
Right now, Aceves just having a difficult time getting the ball down. A lot of his pitches, his fastball, changeup, up in the strike zone, and the Phillies are jumping all over him.
Randy Neiman, the assistant pitching coach, who is the pitching coach today, headed out this split squad day.
See the location of that pitch, about belt high. And Nix with the base hit to drive in a run.
Top third, we will meet Jenny Dell. Randy Neiman, who is on Bobby Valentine's coaching staff with the Mets, longtime New York Met instructor and bullpen coach, minor league pitching coach. The Mets system for his career, also in the majors with the Mets, was on the 1986 World Series champion New York Mets. Here is Sean Mayberry. Mayberry with a single and an RBI in the first inning. Check swing foul off to the right, and it's 0-2. To break it down for Aceves last year as a reliever, he was 9-1 with a 2.03 earned run average as a reliever, 1-1 with a 5.14 ERA as a starter. Swing and a miss. Strikes out Mayberry, but the damage done. The Phillies tack on 4 more and take a 6-0 lead after an inning and a half. So we have more great college hockey game for you this season. The BU Terriers will face off against the University of Minnesota in the first round of the NCAA tournament on the road to the Frozen Four. Our live coverage starts at 5, so stay with Nesson after the game. Boston College playing Air Force as well today. Beautiful day to be on the berm here at JetBlue Park at Fenway South. Red Sox and Phillies. It's been all Phillies so far. As Philadelphia with a 6-0 advantage as we enter the bottom of the second inning for Cole Hamels. We'll deal with Kelly Shopik, Mike Aviles, and Nick Punto here in the second. Kelly Shopik 4 for 17 during the spring. Last year, a 176 average, but did have 11 home runs for the Tampa Bay Rays. Hamels wanted it, but falls behind now 2-0.
And some screaming and yelling coming out of that Phillies dugout. They thought they had a pretty good pitch there. Yelling out it was not too low.
Hamels struck out a batter, walked a batter in the first, and get out of a first and second situation. Charlie Manuel, the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. There's ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk to Kelly Shopik. Second free pass served up by Cole Hamels. Boston Red Sox spring training baseball on Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. A beautiful day here in Southwest Florida, JetBlue Park, the home of Red Sox spring training. Mike Aviles shortening up and pulls it back, takes ball 1. Mike Aviles 10 for 38 during the spring, hitting at .263. Saw Charlie Manuel, the pitching coach of this Phillies team, is Rich Doobie, of course, from Brockton, Massachusetts, and he wanted to send along hellos to Ruth Doobie, his mother, who's watching today's game. Phillies have had some very good pitching, Rich Doobie, over the years, and do again this year.
And, of course, Jonathan Papelbon, the new closer for the Philadelphia Phillies.
He was fooled on that, and it is 2-2. Gone from.
Looks like the changeup again from Cole Hamels. A very good one down and away from Aviles. Even the count at 2-2.
In the air to left center field. Mayberry, now the center fielder. Victorino takes charge and puts it away for the first out of the second inning. I want to remind you to be there for the first homestand of the season as the defending American League champion Texas Rangers visit Fenway Park for a 2-game series April 17th and 18th. Oakland A's will visit Boston for the second homestand of the season. That's April 30th, May 1st, and 2nd. Get your tickets now for both of these matchups at redsox.com/tickets. 1 out, 1 on, and Nick Punto, the batter. The Phillies do have some new faces. They no longer have Raul Ibanez, we just saw. Brad Lidge is gone. Ryan Madsen. Roy Oswalt, who was part of this team last year, gone. They've added Papelbon, as you mentioned, a big signing for them. And Ryan Madsen no longer with them. Chad Qualls has joined the Phillies bullpen. Ty Wigginton, Dontrell Willis given a minor league contract, and Jim Thome as well in camp for Charlie Manuel. That's a strike, and it's 1-2 to Punto. That'll skip in, and it evens up at 2-2 to Punto. Nick is 4 for 21 so far during the spring. To center and falling fast. It's in for a base hit. Victorino tried to deke the runner a little bit, but it falls in, and Punto's got a hit as Shopik takes second base.
Well, no shortage of base runners for either ball club. The problem is the 6 runs for the Phillies right now, but the Red Sox have also had base runners. Punto in at center field for the base hit, drops it in front of Shane Victorino.
2 on, 1 away. And it brings up Josh Kroger. Spent his entire year last year at AAA in New Orleans. 7 for 35 during the spring so far. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Kelly Shopik walked to begin the inning. Mike Aviles flies out to center. Nick Punto, the single and the first hit of the day for the Red Sox, and they have 2 on, 1 out. Fouled off to the left and out of play. Off the end of the bat, softly to third, or will go to second base, and that's all they'll get. As they're able to retire Punto at second base on the force out. That is out number 2 of the inning. Shopik takes third, and Kroger will reach at first.
Kind of an awkward-looking throw by Orr, second base, but an effective one. He gets himself in kind of a weird position to make this throw as he's trying to get the double play. But wisely, Galvis at second base is not trying to cheer it over. They had no chance to get the deuce.
Two outs, 2 on, and Jacoby Ellsbury coming up. Ellsbury fouled out to the catcher Carlos Ruiz in the first inning. Did he go? Yes, he did.
What do you think, Don?
I think he went around.
I don't think so.
The 0-1 pitch is going to miss, and it evens up at 1-1. You know my thoughts on that?
Yeah, everybody goes. There's no such thing as a check swing in Don Orsillo's playbook.
That's a swing, and he fouls it off. On a spin, it's 1-2 now to Jacoby Ellsbury. Not a bad seat in the house here at JetBlue Park on a beautiful day. Just missed. Ruiz framed it there, and it's 2-2.
Just a little bit high with the curveball that time, and that's exactly what Ellsbury reads. It's going to be high, almost dropped into the strike zone, but not quite.
Ellsbury turns on this, hits a high fly ball to deep right. Pence going back onto the track, can't make the catch. From third, Shopik scores. Here comes Kroger all the way from first base. He'll score. And to third base goes Jacoby Ellsbury. Red Sox get on the board with 2 runs. Looked like Pence had a play out there. He was out there and right and got some glove on it, but can't make the catch.
Yeah, he looked very awkward going after that ball right from contact. Again, we mentioned the breeze blowing out this afternoon, and it looked like Pence had a chance to make this play. Looks like he's got it lined up right there, but the ball continues to carry, and I don't even know if he got a glove on it.
So the Red Sox get 2 runs. Ellsbury at third, and here's Pedroia, fouls it off for by the Red Sox dugout. Dustin, a strikeout victim in the first, the only K today for Cole Hamels. On the ground down the line, or with a nice pick, the throw is going to be low and dug out nicely by Nix on the other side. Nice play to end the inning as the Red Sox get 2 runs and the Phillies have a 6-2 lead. The popular double play packs are now available for the 2012 season. Create your own unique package with seats for 2 great games. Pair a date with the Yankees or an exciting summer weekend game with an early season game in April or May. Get your double play packs tickets now at redsox.com/double play. Carlos Ruiz to lead it off for the Phillies here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Red Sox getting 2 runs back in their half of the 2nd inning. Ruiz grounded into a fielder's choice first time up and was able to hold up. Sevis giving up 2 runs in the first and 4 in the second, including back-to-back home runs by Pete Orr and Freddie Galvis. Sevis 43 pitches deep into his outing, first batter of the 3rd inning. And another high fly ball to deep left field. Kroger going back, looking up, and that ball is gone. 3rd home run of the day given up by Alfredo Aceves, and all he can do is shake his head right now. 7-2 Phillies.
Well, Alfredo right now is really having a tough time getting the ball down. All pitches in that at bat were up in the zone. And, of course, when you're up in the zone like that, you got to get hit pretty good. And that's exactly what's happening right now. There's a fastball up and in that Ruiz takes out of the ballpark for a home run.
Only twice last year did he give up more than one home run in an outing. And here today, he's given up 3 in 2+ innings. Pete Orr's got one of those home runs. He was the first of the 3. And he fouls it off to the left out of play. Orr, who played in 46 games last year with Philadelphia. On the ground softly towards Pedroia. 1 down in the 3rd inning. Well, at the end of this half inning, we're going to keep it right here at JetBlue Park and meet Jenny Dell. One out in the 3rd inning. Freddie Galvis coming up. She will visit us in the booth at the end of this half inning. We'll keep it right here. Pitch is down and in to Freddie Galvis. He had a home run in the 2nd inning. To Pedroia again. 2 down.
Now that's more like it for Chavez. A couple of ground ball outs, able to get the ball down. And the result, ground balls to Dustin Pedroia for back-to-back outs. Chavez going down around knee high on the outside part of the plate, and Galvis trying to pull the ball. And the result, 4-3.
Last year, Chavez did not allow more than 2 extra base hits in any outing, and he's given up 5 today already with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. It's Miguel Abreu bats. Fly it out to Jacoby Ellsbury in center field in the 2nd inning. It's a fly ball down the right field line. McDonald on the run. It'll land fair. And head down to the corner as heading towards third is Abreu. By the time McDonald could dig it out, Abreu's at third base. So that did not jump up into the crowd. It hugged the wall down to the corner, very similar to Fenway Park.
Yeah, just like Fenway Park, you got to be very careful down that right field line. And that time the ball did get by Darnell McDonald. Comes off that wall with a lot of spin on it, especially slicing off the bat of a right-hander. Bounces. McDonald thought it was going to go up in the stands, but it stays in the ballpark, gets by him. And 3 bases for Abreu.
Come on, Shane.
So 8 hits now for the Phillies. Everybody's got one except for the leadoff man, Shane Victorino, but he's been on twice. A walk and a hit batter, and he has scored 2 runs. This one gets away as Shopik knocks it down. No advance at third base for Abreu.
Yeah, Shopik's already saved a couple of runs in this game by blocking the ball at home plate. This ball bouncing from Aceves, and you can see Shopik sliding to his right to block it, knock it down, and hold the man at third.
Victorino to right field, and that's going to get in for a base hit, and the run will score. Abreu from third with the 8th Phillies run, and Victorino on for the 3rd time in the game.
Doing his job as a leadoff hitter. A walk, got hit by a pitch, stole a base. Now, with 2 outs, drives in a run. Take a look at Alfredo Aceves and the problems that I think he's having. I mean, a lot of high pitches in this ball game, down around the knees. A lot of them belt high and even higher. And the Phillies have not been missing those pitches.
This is by the dive of Pedroia into right field. Heading for third is Victorino. The throw will be cut off. And a race to the bag at second. And Pierre is safe. And to the plate comes Victorino. Phillies take a 9-2 lead. People running all over the place.
Now, really, the only chance for anybody to cover second base on this might be Jacoby Ellsbury, because you see where Pedroia is. He's going to dive for the ball. Now the cutoff comes in. Aviles cuts it off, and he has to chase the runner down. While he's doing that, the runner comes on to score. So far, this has been pretty ugly this afternoon for the Red Sox.
So a 9-2 lead for Philadelphia. Pierre ends up at second base. And Hunter Pence, the batter, as he takes strike one. Pence struck out in the first inning. He doubled to drive in a run in the second. That's a strike and a Sevis is ahead 0-2. There is action for the first time in the Red Sox bullpen. Michael Bowden is warming in the pen, as the Sevis has really struggled through this outing today. No 2 up and away, 1-2. 57 pitches for Aceves. Has just not been comfortable really at any point. There's strike 3, but a big inning for the Phillies. They scored 3 times and take a 9-2 lead. We will keep it right here. Well, as promised, the third member of our broadcast team, our new reporter, Jenny Dell, joins us. And Jenny, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and where you've worked before.
Well, Don, I'm from a small town called Southbury, Connecticut. I went to school at UMass Amherst, and I graduated early there and started right out of college at ESPN. And I've been at ESPN for the last 4 years, and now I've landed the dream job here at NESN.
Well, Jenny, you talk about a dream job. What is your role going to be for us this season?
I have one role, and that is to tell stories. And whether it's stories about the players, the fans, the 100th anniversary celebration at Fenway Park, my job is to provide that contact to the fans at home.
Well, today is day one. What do you got planned for the game today for us?
Well, I had the opportunity to actually talk to Tom Warner a little bit earlier about the Run to Home Base program that's going to be happening at Fenway Park on May 20th. And on top of that, Daniel Bard is making a very important start tomorrow, so we're going to preview how important that start actually is.
Well, Jerry and I both welcome you, and welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
We're back in action tomorrow afternoon as NESN takes on the road to Toronto to Dunedin. Daniel Bard will be on the mound in what could be a crucial start for his hopes to secure a spot in the rotation. Sox closer Andrew Bailey is also scheduled to pitch tomorrow. Our live coverage begins at 1 o'clock, and we remind you, Red Sox Spring Training Baseball is presented by Southwest Airlines. Well, very nice to finally chat with Jenny Dell today and welcome her on to the NESN crew as we get ready for the 2012 season. Kevin Youkilis leading it off here in the bottom of the third. A lot of work for the Red Sox to do, trailing by 7 runs. Youkilis reaching on an error in the first inning.
I'll say one thing, that was a lot more polished than my first game, I can tell you that. Whoa, was it ugly?
You a little raw, were you in the beginning?
Oh, it was ugly. It was terrible. I wanted to quit like halfway through the year. It was brutal.
You didn't know how to keep score.
I did not know how to keep score. I didn't know what the score of the game was. I had no idea what the count was.
Very tough to analyze, I would think.
Yes.
Youkilis
Those
to
things
go.
kind of come after a while.
Right. So Jenny already knows how to keep score. So he's already ahead of the game.
Way ahead of the game.
But it worked out all right for you. You hung around a long time after that. I mean, you got through that first year.
Barely.
So were you going to peel off halfway through the season, or were you...
I'm still working on the same contract. It was a one-year contract with 24 years of options.
He's grounded foul.
I actually thought about it. I really did.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I'd made a major mistake.
Yeah.
About halfway through the first year, I said, "This is not for me."
Ned, I won't be here tomorrow.
I used to root for rainouts.
So I'm going to miss. Youkilis lunges after that. Second strikeout for Cole Hamels.
Well, Cole Hamels has that good changeup going here this afternoon. There's one down and away from Kevin Youkilis to pick up the strikeout. So Youkilis reaching on an error back in the first inning, striking out here in the third.
One out for Adrian Gonzalez. He walked in the first inning, one of 2 walks given up by Cole Hamels. We plan on being in Dunedin tomorrow.
I can't wait for that one.
If my car will get us there.
You mind driving tomorrow?
Well, that's the problem. I had
a little worried about your tire?
Yes.
I'll drive. I mean, that's okay.
A flat tire that was patched yesterday, but I don't have a real good feeling about the patching.
No, if it's patched, I'd prefer to take my car.
So, I mean, we're kind of flipping the coin as to whether or not we're actually going to get there.
We don't want to be like Francona and pushing a car down a highway tomorrow.
Yes. In the air to left. Mayberry Jr. is there, and he puts it away, 2 down.
Early wake-up call for that game in Dunedin. But I can't wait to get there.
It's 145 miles.
It's not bad.
I've heard 3 different routes, though, today, which I'm a little confused about.
I get very confused once I get as far as Tampa. Once I get past the Tampa Clearwater Airport, I have major problems after that.
We always do. There's a question as to whether it's 275, whether it's 60, but you get to 19. There's all kinds of stuff going on, so decisions need to be made. This is lined into left. Mayberry is over quickly. McDonald's torrid pace during the spring continues as he gets a 2-out base hit here in the third.
Yeah, he's been doing it too against both right-handers and left-handers this spring. This time the left-hander Hamill with the ball down and in, and that's certainly a pitch that we know Darnell McDonald can handle. He likes the ball inside, and especially fastballs inside. Yeah, I don't think we should take your car if you got a patch on your tire.
So you're going to drive?
I'll drive.
All right.
I'll drive.
Could take a car service and sleep.
I don't think we could get that one by.
You don't think you'd slide that through?
I don't think so, no.
Shopik walked and scored in the second. Pitch in there for a strike. Usually one long one this spring. I think we went to St. Lucie last year.
Yeah.
On the East Coast. But of course,
doesn't seem so bad going up there. It's
no, it's coming back.
Once you wake up early and get that out of the way, have a little coffee, and watch the sunrise, and going up doesn't seem so bad. Doing the game's always great,
right?
But coming back seems to get a little bit long.
Because we talked to each other for the 3 hours up there.
Right.
3 hours on the air.
We got it all figured out.
We got 6 hours worth of just us talking. The last 3 hours is really a stretch.
Now we'll have 2.5 to 3 hours in the car tomorrow going up there. We'll still have no better idea what the rotation is going to be than we do today.
No.
And we'll be talking about it for most of the way up there.
Right. What are we going to talk about on the way back?
That's usually quiet time.
Chop to short. Abreu will tag the bag at second and wrap up the third inning. And our conversation, good car talk. 9-2, Phillies on top at the end of 3. The always popular standing room only packs are back for the 2012 season. Pair a game against the Yankees or a popular summer weekend date with an exciting game this spring to create your own unique standing room only packs. See 2 great games for as little as $40. Get your tickets today at redsox.com/SRO packs. That's the 4th inning, and it's 9-2. Philadelphia on top of Boston. As this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. A very tough day today for Alfredo Aceves. He brings in Michael Bowden into the game. In his 6th appearance of the spring, no record, 1.50 earned run average. No walks, 6 strikeouts, and opponents hitting at .250 against him. Lance Nix will lead it off here for the Phillies. In there for strike 1 from Bowden. Line on Aceves today, 3 innings, 10 hits, 9 runs. He walked a batter, struck out 3, and gave up 3 home runs. Kind of the wrong time for that to happen. These outings very important at this stage of spring training. To left, Kroger on the move, but that is quickly over his head. It'll one-hop the wall. Fires to second base and holds Nix to a long single. And here are the blasts today off Alfredo Aceves.
3 home runs, or with the first one, the left-handed hitter on a ball that was a little bit down in the zone. This one certainly up to Galvis, and then a high fastball right there to Ruiz for the 3rd home run given up by Aceves in this game today. Just seemed to have a difficult time keeping the ball down in the zone.
He allowed 8 home runs last year, and all of them as a reliever. 3 home runs today as Mayberry takes the strike. Mayberry singled and struck out. In the dirt, nicely blocked by Shopik. And it evens at 1-1.
Al Shopik's already had a full game of workout behind home plate here this afternoon. That's about the third or fourth one he's had the block. And all have been done very well by Shopik.
Michael Bowden seems like he's been around a long time in the Red Sox organization. He's still only 25 years old. Parts of 4 years in Boston. Last year appearing in 14 games. No record. It's that one by him, and it's 2-2. Spent the bulk of the year with Pawtucket and was closing games at 16 saves for the Paw Sox last year. 41 total appearances and 2.73 earned run average in the International League a year ago. To right center, on the move is Ellsbury, and he'll make the running grab as McDonald veered off. Darnell was also pursuing, and there's one down. Didier Morais is blogging as we speak. Now he's smiling. He's having a much better time now here in the booth. Things have picked up. Still very bored, apparently. The car talk didn't do it for him.
I wonder if he blogged that. Did you blog the car talk?
He's on it. It's all over.
Got sunglasses, got the phone ready, computer ready.
He's got his own desk.
Yeah, his own desk.
Right here in the booth.
Yeah.
There is Carlos Ruiz. Takes strike one. I wonder what he said so far. These are the two most boring people I've ever been around in my life.
And they're not very nice.
They're not friendly. The 0-1 is inside, and it's 1-1.
They both look like they're just mailing it in, you know.
Throw to first and back is Nix. Maybe that's why you have 24 options.
That's right.
He's pulling out to right center here at JetBlue Park. One fouled off to the right, not a play. 1-2.
A little bit more humid over the last couple of days here in Southwest Florida than it had been, but still just gorgeous weather. I guess it's starting to cool off a little bit back home. They had a couple of days of up around 80 degrees. I hope that doesn't mean a bad April and May. I really don't. You know, it's been such a good winter.
Yes.
I mean, it really has.
Not much snow at all.
All I kept thinking is we're going to pay in April and May.
Big time.
Let's hope not.
One, two is outside. It's 2-2. Your shoveling days are over anyway, though, right? I mean, you're not out there shoveling anymore.
They've been over for a long, long time. Even when I was in the house, they were over. Yeah.
Sharply hit quickly by Youkilis at third, down to the corner. Lance Nix scampers for third. He'll be stopped there. It's a double for Carlos Ruiz, and it's second and third with one out. Phillies continue to hit the ball.
11 hits on the afternoon so far for the Phillies, and most of them been hit very hard. Once again down that third base line, another fastball up and in. That is hooked by Ruiz. Similar pitch that he hit for the home run.
So second and third, one out, and it brings up Pete Orr. Coming up, Jenny Dell will talk with chairman of the Red Sox, Tom Werner. Fly ball sent foul, back and out of play. It's 0-1. One ball, one strike to Pete Orr. Orr broke into the big leagues with the Atlanta Braves in 2005. He's from Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada. Time in Washington, and this will be his second year in Philadelphia. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Infield in all the way around for Boston. Already down 9-2. One-two is back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Little score, Nix. And they'll stop Ruiz as a couple of cutoff men are missed. It gets all the way to Shopik. And the Phillies make it an even 10.
Orr having himself quite a day. The home run, now the base hit. Now the throw is supposed to be a cutoff man, either Pedroia or Aviles. It looks like Aviles is the cutoff man. He misses him. Pedroia is there to back it up. As we talked about the other night, Red Sox a little unconventional in the way they're doing their cutoffs this season. Usually you would see the first baseman take that. But they're throwing through the middle infielders and then middle infielders home.
Throw to first, and Orr back to the bag. Galvis 1 for 2. He homered. There's part of the back-to-back home runs in the second inning for the Phillies. Grounded out in the third. Two and 0. Sevis went 3 innings, giving up 10 hits, 9 runs, a walk, and 3 Ks. Michael Bowden into the game here in the fourth has given up 1 run on 3 hits so far in a third of an inning. Ruiz at third, or cross the diamond at first. Galvis will pop it up. Back comes Shopik, but it's into the seats. We're coming to you from JetBlue Park at Fenway South. Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy, and Jenny Dell bringing you Red Sox baseball in high definition right here on NESN. That was a reset.
They call that a reset, not business,
reset.
Right?
We just did it. There's a strike on the outside corner. You try to do it at the top of the hour, and here we are, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
So we did the reset.
So the next reset will be at 4 o'clock?
Hopefully, if we remember. On the ground to first base, Gonzalez to second for 1. Back to Gonzalez for 2. Nicely done. Red Sox needed that as the Phillies add another run. Philadelphia on top 10-2. Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and get over 150 select spring training games with no blackouts and every regular season game live or on demand on your favorite devices. Visit RedSox.com for details. Last half of the fourth inning, it's been all Phils so far on top 10-2. Mike Aviles, Nick Punto, and Josh Kroger to bat in the inning. This breaking ball is fouled off just outside the line by Mike Aviles. Aviles flied out to center field in the second inning. Fly ball this time to left. Podsednik just into the game, back to the wall, has no play. It's up off the wall. Victorino in center. His throw to second is late, and Mike Aviles has a double to begin the bottom of the fourth inning.
And Mike Aviles has been peppering that left field wall all spring training. Pitch that was down about knee high, and he lifts it to get it off that wall. Nice carom to Shane Victorino in center field. Throws it back into second base, but Aviles in with the double.
Punto singled to center field in the second inning. Sends one foul off to the right. Jenny Dell will be talking with Tom Werner coming up next half inning. 0-2. Punto fights it off foul. Still 0-2. Nick Punto, who broke into the big leagues with these Philadelphia Phillies. 2001, his first year in the big leagues, and most will remember him with the Minnesota Twins, but played parts of 3 seasons with the Phillies before joining the Twins in 2004. He had been acquired by the Twins along with Carlos Silva, who was in camp earlier this spring for the Red Sox, before being released. Stayed in Minnesota 7 seasons. Lifts it foul off to the right, out of play. Too far inside, 2-2. Hamels into his 4th inning of work is up to 76 pitches. On the ground, Abreu at shortstop will go to first base for the first out of the inning as Aviles takes third base, 1 down. Red Sox Nation, if you need medical care at Fenway Park, visit the Beth Israel Deaconess First Aid Stand behind Section 12. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Visit them at bidmc.org. 1 out, Aviles at third base, and Josh Kroger, the batter, reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. Fouls one back quickly just to our left.
It's amazing how you can dodge out of the way to your right in a hurry and still maintain a composed voice over the air.
I was on the move.
On the move.
Had to get out of the way. That was a little hot to handle. We have a lot more time at home to react to those, since we're on
yes
5th floor
on Mars.
1-1 is low and inside. Well, if you're looking for a silver lining so far in this game, this is one of them. Dustin Pedroia. Jacoby Ellsbury with a triple in the second inning. It's out of the reach of Hunter Pence down the right field line. It's been a double in this inning for Mike Aviles. Not much to cheer about so far for Red Sox fans. A swing and a miss for Josh Kroger.
Noticed a lot of Philly fans here this afternoon when the Phillies were being introduced. A large group of Philadelphia fans traveling here to see this ball game.
That is strike 3 to Kroger. Third strikeout for Hamels, 2 down. Well, for those of you who are just joining us, it's a tough day for Alfredo Aceves. Hit hard in 3 innings, 10 hits, 9 runs, and he gave up 3 home runs. It's not his day right out of the gate. Phillies got 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and 3 in the third. All off Aceves. They would add another run against Michael Bowden. Ellsbury takes ball 1. Red Sox will play Philadelphia again this season. Middle of May, the 18th, 19th, and 20th, we will be in Philadelphia to begin interleague play. It's wrapped around a trip that will have the Red Sox go to Tampa Bay for 2 and Baltimore for 3. That's a strike. Red Sox also in interleague play this year. We'll play Washington. The Nationals at Fenway. We'll travel to the new Miami ballpark and back to Wrigley Field. Galvis at second will throw out Ellsbury, and Hamels gets out of the jam. We come back. Jenny Dell will be talking with Tom Werner. It's 10-2 Philadelphia. Ten to 2, the Phillies on top of the Red Sox. I want to remind you to cross Fenway Park's famous home plate and help provide much-needed services to wounded veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan and their families. Join the 2012 Run Walk to Home Base presented by New Balance on Sunday, May 20th, 2012. Advanced registration is required. To learn more, sign up as a runner or a walker. Please visit runtohomebase.org today. And I know a lot of you know about this great thing, the Run to Home Base. It's an annual event now entering its 3rd year that helps raise funds through a 9K run and this year a 3K walk. That's why we said run or walk to benefit the Red Sox Foundation and the Massachusetts General Hospital Home Base program. and provides clinical care, counseling, support services to Iraq and Afghanistan service members, veterans, their families affected by combat or deployment-related stress and traumatic brain injury. Amazing that 2.2 million men and women have served the U.S. military during conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's been estimated that 1/3 will experience post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury. And certainly this is an event, a way to honor and thank our veterans for their service and sacrifice by raising funds. Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Bowden. As promised, here is Jenny Dell with more with Tom Werner.
After this year, the Red Sox Foundation will have raised over $10 million for this program. Now, Tom, you've been very personally connected to it. Why has it been so important to you?
Over 1/3 of the soldiers who fight in Iraq and Afghanistan come back with some sort of either post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury. This has been the invisible wound of these two conflicts, and the Red Sox and the great doctors at Mass General came together to try to give innovative treatment, good clinical help to not just the soldiers but their families. And this is just another way for the Red Sox to give back in the community.
Now, with many of soldiers coming home these days, this is more important than ever. So what benefit do these soldiers and their families get from this?
This has been such a challenge because many of these soldiers don't even want to admit that they've got psychological trauma. So part of what we're doing is we're saying it's okay to have this problem. It's okay to say that you need help. And we have a very successful program that we've seen hundreds of veterans, most of them from New England. And we're really providing something that is going to help make their lives easier when they come back from these terrible conflicts.
Everyone's dream, I would say, is to run the bases at Fenway Park. And this provides a really unique opportunity to get on the field at Fenway, but also support the troops.
We've done this twice, and this is going to be our 3rd year. It's really a great day. You start at Fenway Park. You can either run 9K or walk this year. And at the end of it, you cross Fenway Park, you get your photo taken, and you'll feel like you've really participated in something great in the community.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thanks, Jenny, and welcome to Nesson.
Back to you, Don.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. This year's event will be held Sunday, May 20th. There's still plenty of spots open for both runners and walkers to sign up for this charitable fundraiser. Registration information for Run can be found at runtohomebase.org.
That's a program that's really grown over the last couple of seasons, no question about it, and for a tremendous cause. A lot of hard work put in.
Shane Victorino down to first base with 1 out.
Why don't you join up for Team Remy this year, Don?
They have to. Here's a look at runs in the pass. Our friends from New Balance. And Mass General, of course, does such a terrific job. One out, one on. Juan Pierre, 4th at bat already of the day. Just in the 5th inning, Phillies have been hitting the ball all over the ballpark today to the tune of 10 runs on 13 hits as they bat with 1 out in the 5th. Aceves in 3 innings gives up 9 runs on 10 hits. So the battle for the rotation continues. While on the other coast, not a bad day for Felix Doubront as this one has popped up foul back into the seats. Mentioned a split squad today for the Red Sox. The other half of the team is over in Jupiter, and Felix had much better results. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. It was a home run. 1 walk and 2 Ks through 78 pitches. So
he continues to impress.
Mentioned it a couple times. He faced the Yankees in Tampa Bay and shut down really the Yankees regulars in his start in a night game against the Yankees. To short, Aviles will go to second quickly for 1. Not much on the throw, as coming in hard at second base was Victorino, and Pierre will reach, especially with his speed. 2 down in the inning.
Very difficult guy to double up Juan Pierre going down that first base line. You mentioned the great speed that he has. And what it normally takes to double up a guy like that is a ground ball hit hard in the direction of second base, where one of the middle infielders, the shortstop or second baseman, are going toward the bag. Other than that, very difficult to double up.
2 down, Pierre at first, and Hunter Pence the batter. Popped up, foul ground. Shopik will go as far as he can, but won't have a play. Hunter Pence today has struck out swinging, doubled and scored, and then struck out looking last time up. One hopper picked by Aviles. He'll go to second for the force out, but a drop there by Pedroia. Pedroia had it and then just dropped it. And safe at second base. Pierre Pence reaches at first, and nothing working for the Red Sox today.
Now that's about as rare as it comes right here. Dustin Pedroia dropping a throw at second base. Nice play by Aviles, makes the flip. It's about bell time, but just comes right out of the webbing of the glove of Dustin Pedroia. I think this is one the Red Sox would like to start all over again.
Two on, 2 down, and Lance Nix the batter. Swinging a foul tip into the catcher's mitt. There is further action in the Red Sox pen. Bowden, the second arm used today. Nix is 2 for 3. He's got 2 singles, 1 to right, 1 to left. The 1 is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Franklin Morales is warming in the Red Sox pen. Pierre at second, Pence at first. 2 outs in the Phillies' 5th inning, already on top 10-2. Popped up. Youkilis has got to play as he steps into foul ground and makes the catch that ends the inning. Phillies strand a pair. We're halfway through this one. It's 10-2 Philadelphia. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Eastern Bank. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. These are just some of the things Eastern Bank is made of. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. Fifth inning back at JetBlue Park with the Philadelphia Phillies on top 10-2. New pitcher on for Philadelphia after 4 innings from Cole Hamels. Chad Falls comes into the game. The Austin, Texas native into his 7th spring training game. No record. 5.40 earned run average. 2 walks to 5 Ks. Opponents only hitting at 192 against him. Spent last year as a member of the San Diego Padres. Time in Houston, Arizona, Tampa Bay before San Diego. Dustin Pedroia leads it off here in the 5th. And takes strike 1. Pedroia struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Grounded out to 3rd base in the 2nd. So for Cole Hamels, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He walked 2 and struck out 3 in his 4 innings of work here today for the Phillies. The veteran Qualls, 33 years old. The exception of 27 games for the Tampa Bay Rays last year, his entire career spent in the National League. 4 years with Houston, 3 with Arizona, 1 with San Diego, and now a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. That's strike 3, and it's been a tough day for Pedroia. Strikes out for the 2nd time today.
A 2-seam fastball that time that Pedroia gives up on. It's away, comes back to pick up the outside corner, and I don't think Dustin liked the call very much, but makes his way back to the dugout. So striking out twice, 0 for 3 on the afternoon.
1 out in the 5th. And it brings up Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis 0 for 2, reached on an error in the 1st inning. Struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Line into left field. A base hit for Youkilis. 5th hit of the day for Boston.
Kevin Youkilis getting the base hit on a breaking ball, a slider that time, and he will leave the game here in the 5th inning.
Colbrin Vidic will run at first base. This one fouled back to the screen. So Youkilis' day is over. On base twice, reached on an error and a single. 1 out, 1 on. Adrian Gonzalez walked in the 1st inning, flied out to left in the 3rd. Back to the mound. Qualls will try to start it to 2nd for 1, on to 1st for 2. Double play that will wrap up the 5th. Played 5 from JetBlue Park. It's been all Phillies on top 10-2. Tonight, the Bruins West Coast road trip continues in L.A. against the Kings as they hope to bounce back from their 2-1 loss to San Jose Thursday. Our live coverage begins live at 8 with Dale, Barry, and Mark on Big Bad Bruins Live, presented by DCU. For all more game action, visit NESN.com/Bruins. The Phillies enjoy a 10-2 lead here from JetBlue Park at Fenway South as we get ready for the top half of the 6th inning. Red Sox bringing on their third pitcher of the day. It's Franklin Morales. Morales into just his second game, 1-0. He's not given up a run yet. A walk and a K so far for Morales, who has been banged up a little bit during the spring. Actually went back to Boston for more tests and has returned here to Fort Myers and has been cleared. Has been throwing on the side and into just his second game. Of course, with the Red Sox last year, 36 appearances, a 3.62 earned run average. He's acquired by the Red Sox for a player to be named later on May 19th of last year, and had a 1-1 record his entire career. Prior to that, spent in Colorado, at times being used as the closer by the Rockies. Here's Scott Podsednik, who has bounced around quite a bit, and into this game took over in left field for John Mayberry Jr. as he takes ball one. Morales in his career has held lefties to a .201 batting average. Bobby Valentine was asked earlier in the spring whether or not he needs a lefty in the pen, and he's talking about how important it is to have right-handers who can get lefties out. And if he has that, he may not need a lefty in the pen, but Morales is certainly one of the guys vying for that particular spot.
Well, Morales, you know, when he's good, I mean, he can be effective against both left-handers and right-handers because he does have an overpowering fastball.
That's a strike, and it's 3-1 to Podsednik. On the ground to first base, tough hop, but Gonzalez has got it. He'll take it to the bag for the first out of the 6th inning. Colburn Vidic had pinch run for Kevin Youkilis last inning. Stays in for him at third base defensively. One down in the 6th inning. Carlos Ruiz, the batter. Phillies catcher has reached on a fielder's choice homer and doubled in the game. Part of this 13-hit, 10-run attack for the Phillies. Franklin Morales, the third Boston pitcher of the day. 3 innings for Alfredo Aceves, who gave up 9 runs. 2 innings for Michael Bowden, who is charged with 1 run. So pitched the 4th and 5th. 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And now Franklin Morales working the 6th inning. To shortstop and Mike Aviles. 2 down in the 6th. Scheduled to see Andrew Bailey at some point today as well. We've not yet seen him in a televised game, the new closer for the Red Sox.
I think it's my understanding he's supposed to work back-to-back days, today and tomorrow, up in Dunedin for the first time this spring.
Talking to him earlier in the spring, he had said that he really only needs 6 or 7 innings of work to be ready for the season. This is to shallow center. The shortstop Aviles calls everybody off and makes the catch. And Franklin Morales enjoys a 1-2-3 6th inning. 10-2 Phillies.
Good morning.
10-2, Phillies on top of the Red Sox. Looking for a unique chance to support the Red Sox Foundation and, by extension, nonprofit programs in Rhode Island. Be one of the first fans with the Rhode Island Red Sox license plate. The opportunity to open to Red Sox fans with a passenger commercial plate currently registered in Rhode Island. For more information, visit redsoxfoundation.org. The last half of inning number 6 back at JetBlue Park, and Phillies will bring on their third pitcher of the day. We've seen Cole Hamels go 4, giving up 2 runs. Chad Qualls an inning, shutting down the Red Sox in his inning of work. And now Raul Valdez into the game for Philadelphia. He's a member of both the Cardinals and Yankees for part of last year. Came up through the Mets system initially in his first big league season, 2010, with the Mets. 34-year-old, born in La Habana, Cuba. Darnell McDonald will be the first Red Sox batter he deals with here in the bottom of the 6th inning. One for 2 day today for Darnell McDonald. He singled in the 3rd. He's now 13 for 26 during the spring. Swing and a miss, fooled on that pitch, down 1-2. Mentioned what a great second half Darnell had last year. He hit .310 after the All-Star break. Just a .236 average overall, but a terrific second half. Lifts a fly ball to right field. Luis Montañez, a little trouble out there, but he reels it in for the first out.
Hasn't been easy today for outfielders. They've got the sun and a little bit of a breeze to deal with. Seen a couple of balls carried pretty well towards center field in this game. And one that Hunter Pence, we thought that probably should have made a catch on in right field, but the ball carried over his head.
One down for Kelly Shopik, who was walked and reached on a fielder's choice, has scored a run. Pop-up foul that will drop harmlessly over by the Phillies dugout. Have Shopik down 0-2. Kelly's now 31 years old. Originally a second-round pick of the Red Sox back in 2001, and returning to the organization for the first time since 2005. Played 4 years in the Red Sox system. Made his major league debut with Boston in 2005, and then traded to Cleveland as part of the Coco Crisp deal. Best year for Kelly Shopik, 2008. He hit 21 home runs for the Cleveland Indians. One-two slap foul. Mike Aviles waiting on deck. 1 out, last half of the 6th inning. Back to the mound. Valdez fires to first, 2 down. Two away for Mike Aviles. And one of the 5 Red Sox hits in the game. It was a double his last time up in the 4th. to left center field. This will get in for a base hit. Brayu cuts it off quickly. Aviles will throw the brakes on and go back to the bag at first. A 2-out single, and it's the second hit of the day for Mike Aviles.
Another ball hit hard by Aviles. That's a double. Now this hard single. Nice play in center field by Abreu as he backhands it and holds Aviles to the long single.
So Aviles' day is over. Jonathan He runs for him at first base. With 2 outs in the 6th, and Nick Punto. Punto singled to center in the 2nd, grounded out to short in the 4th inning. Little flare out to right center, and that'll fall for a base hit. From center, Abreu picks it off and fires it back in. Back-to-back base hits for the Red Sox with 2 down.
Now both Aviles and Punto now with 2 hits in this ball game. Aviles a double and single, and 2 singles for Punto as he takes this one the other way for the base hit. So he's 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Punto struggling coming into the game with a 190 average. That'll certainly climb quite a bit here in spring training with the 2-hit day.
Here is Josh Kroger batting out of the number 9 spot in left field today for the Red Sox as he takes strike 1 over the outside corner. Well, we anticipated we'd see the Red Sox closer Andrew Bailey, and he is warming in the pen. Tuffy Goosewich has come in to catch here for the Phillies. He steps out to grab that. Carlos Ruiz had started the game for Philadelphia and had a good day, including a home run. Back up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Jonathan He being waved around, a bobble in center. Has a run in for the Red Sox. It's now 10-3 Philadelphia. Josh Kroger with his first hit of the day picks up an RBI.
And a nice job by Kroger hanging in there on the breaking ball. It was a breaking ball from Valdez away from Kroger, and he's able to go out and slap it into center field for the base hit. See the location of the pitch. Pretty good plate coverage there by Kroger, and the Red Sox pick up a run.
Shannon Wilkerson will run at first base for Josh Kroger, who comes out of the game. Jacoby Ellsbury stands in his 4th at bat of the day as he takes strike 1. Jacoby fouled out in the first inning to the catcher. Tripled in the 2nd. Grounded out to second base in the 4th inning. Up the middle, and from short, the throw to first is in time to end the inning. But the Red Sox do get a run in the inning. It's 10-3 Philadelphia at the end of 6. 10-3, the Philadelphia Phillies have the lead over the Red Sox as we get ready for the top half of the 7th inning. And kind enough to join us from the dugout is Darnell McDonald. And Darnell, you have been on fire so far this spring. You've had a very good spring. You got to feel good about it.
Yes, thank you. I have had a very good spring. Worked hard this off season. Knew coming in that every year is a new year to compete for a job, and I wanted to come in and try to make the best of my opportunities. And it feels good to get some results.
Darnell, also showing some power, a couple of home runs this spring. I mean, last year really kind of sporadic for you as far as playing time throughout the season. But when you get that consistent playing time like you are right now, the results are right there for you. Yeah, baseball is a game of repetition. And, it's tough when you're playing every day. And it's even tougher when you're not. So, I try to keep myself ready as best I can. Whatever my role is going to be, I want to be ready for that. And for me, especially, at the plate, I want to give my team a good at bat every time I go up there. And, hopefully the results will follow.
Well, the team certainly did not finish the way they wanted to in September last year. You had a terrific second half last year. You had to be very happy about the way you played in the second half of last season.
Yeah, towards the end, I started getting a little more playing time, and felt like I was getting a little more consistent. Like you said, the end of the year was, was a heartbreaker for all of us, and it's something that, as a player, and I think everyone in the organization can learn from, and it's something that's going to help us out this coming year.
Darnell, your impressions of the new manager, Bobby Valentine, certainly a different style than Tito Francona.
Yeah, it's a little different, and as everybody knows, Bobby has a ton of energy. He has a lot of different ideas, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that translates during the season. But you feel like he's definitely behind us, and every day you know what you're going to get. He's going to bring that energy and excitement every day.
It seems like over the course of your career, every spring training has been a competition for you, coming in knowing that you've got to compete every year, and it's, I guess, no different this year for you.
Yeah, and that's the best thing for me. That's what this game is about, and that's what I trained for. And as a baseball player that puts this uniform on, I think we all love the competition. We have a lot of great players here, a lot of new guys that are going to help us out this year, be a big part of this team. And the name of the game is just coming together and proving to ourselves and everybody else that we can play good baseball for a full season.
Speaking of competition, you got right to the end of the Jordan shootout here on Nesson Red Sox Live, right to the end.
That was kind of like Linsanity, huh?
Yeah.
A week 19.
Don't let it fool you. I couldn't shoot.
Oh,
there it is.
Brian,
it's that last one that did it.
The money ball. The money ball is where it's at. Going into it, I told the guys that I couldn't shoot. I still can't shoot. I don't know where that first round came from, but I know in high school when I played basketball, my coach told me to do something to help the team. Just play defense and pass the ball.
Well, you hit 18 in 30 seconds. That was pretty good. Yeah, put you in a good position.
Yeah, I got locked in there for a while. I got my Ray Allen zone.
Ray. Well, Darnell, we thank you so much, and continued success. It's been a great spring training for you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Darnell McDonald joining us from the dugout. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Andrew Bailey into the game here for the Red Sox. 2 quick outs in the 7th. Bailey's 5th appearance of the spring, 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA. He's worked 4 innings. Said earlier this spring he really needs about 7 innings work to get ready for the regular season. Falls behind here 2-0. We've watched his work from afar. The Oakland A's last year to the tune of 24 saves, 26 in his first year in 09, 25 in 2010, and really the problem for Bailey has been staying healthy.
Now, when he's healthy, he has been a very effective closer for the Oakland Athletics. But you're right, Don. The problem has been maintaining that health throughout the course of a full season.
Missed nearly the first 2 months of last year. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. It's American League All-Star, 25 saves in 2010. The year before in 09, he made the jump from Double-A to the majors. Was the American League Rookie of the Year. Fouled off to the right, not a play. Comes to the Red Sox in the Josh Reddick deal. December 28th of this last offseason. Luna will take the walk with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Covidien, a global healthcare products company, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. 2-out walk for Luna. And Juan Pierre is coming up here for the Phillies. Good look from the monster seats high atop here. JetBlue Park, Fenway South. Juan Pierre has doubled, line to right, singled, and reached on a fielder's choice. It's one grounded foul.
Andrew Bailey will get that over the top fastball with good velocity. The cut fastball, occasional changeup.
That's a strike, and it's 0-2 now to Pierre.
And that's the changeup we were talking about right there. Gets ahead, no balls and 2 strikes on the off-speed pitch.
Has been a guy that has gone more than an inning. 13 saves of more than 1 inning pitched over the last 2 years. Out to left center field. Ellsbury on the run will get there. That will end the inning. 10-3. Phillies on top. Ten to 3, Phillies on top of the Red Sox. Time now for the Bob's Discount Furniture Inside Word. Here's Jenny Dell.
given the struggles of Alfredo Aceves in today's game, and with Felix Dubron having a solid outing, there still remains many questions when it comes to the rotation. In Daniel Bard's last outing, he pitched 5 innings, giving up 3 runs and walking 3 on Tuesday against Toronto. After that game, Bard said he remains confident in his ability to be a starter and done. He'll have another chance at it in tomorrow's game against the Jays.
All right, thanks very much, Jenny. As we play along to the bottom of the 7th inning, Dustin Pedroia leads it off and takes ball 1. Valdez back on the mound for the Phillies. Philadelphia comfortably on top 10-3. It's been a quiet day at the plate for Pedroia. Dustin has struck out twice and grounded out. Ground ball to shortstop. Duran at short. A little double pump, but he gets it there in time to get Pedroia. 1 down in the 7th inning.
That's been very good pitching this afternoon for the Phillies here at JetBlue Park, giving up only 8 hits. The 3 runs to the Red Sox as we bat in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Coburn Vedic playing at Single A Salem last year, took over at third base for Kevin Youkilis. Vedic, a first-round pick, 2010. He has the strike over the outside corner, makes it 2-1. From Bryan, Ohio, resides in Nashville, Tennessee. 20th pick overall last year. Late on that cut, and it evens at 2-2. Popped up foul off to the right, out of play. Hangs at 2-2 to Vedic. It's out of Ball State University. Played Lowell 56 games in 2010, his first year, 123 games last year in Salem. Full count now to Vedic. Drew Pomerantz and Chris Sale, 2 draftees in 2010 draft, already seen major league time. Amazingly, it seems it takes less and less time in some instances now. Adrian Gonzalez still in this game here in the 7th inning, looking for another at bat. It'd be his 4th plate appearance of the day. There's strike 3, 2 down in the 7th inning. Boston Red Sox Spring Training Baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Beautiful day for flying, beautiful day for baseball from JetBlue Park, as with 2 outs in the 7th inning, it's Adrian Gonzalez. Walk in the first, flight out to left in the 3rd, bounced into a double play in the 5th. And takes a look at strike 1.
I like the way you tied that together, Don. A beautiful day for flying as we saw that plane.
Yes.
And also a beautiful day for baseball.
tried to transition back into what it is that we're doing here. We're here for baseball. And there's the beautiful day.
Yeah. And that plane is probably already heading toward the border of Florida.
Probably somewhere over Fort Myers Beach right now.
Think so?
Yeah, I think it goes.
Will you spin around?
Yeah. Maybe I could bring some games for the car tomorrow.
Some what?
Some games.
Sing songs?
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's something to do. Car games. Spins and fires to first. Gonzalez is out. And so are the Red Sox in the 7th. It's 10-3 Philadelphia. (10-3) Philadelphia Phillies on top of the Red Sox. Good look at the retired numbers. Larger than life outside JetBlue Park.
The heart is a blue. Shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room.
Luis Montañez to lead it off here for the Philadelphia Phillies in the 8th. Vicente Padilla on for the Red Sox, becomes the 5th pitcher of the day used. Padilla had some hamstring problems and was notified that he was no longer in the race for the rotation, more likely for the bullpen at this point because of the setback, and he was kind of ramping himself up for the competition. Pitched fairly well during the spring. 2-0 pitch is fouled off to the right by Montañez.
So what kind of games you want to play?
Well, I don't know. I Spy or I don't know. I'm not really a sing-song guy. I just don't see you and I singing.
You don't see that
the whole way to Dunny. You know.
Okay.
So I don't know. There's got to be good car games that you can play on the way, because I am worried about the last 3-hour leg. I mean, we'll be fine. But, I mean, we've already done a long trip, and we got the first 3 hours. We'll be fine because we'll be tired, and we'll get there, and we'll do the game, and we'll be fine. But then the last 3 hours are really going to drag. So I'm thinking if we prepare with some sort of car game that we get before we leave.
There's a game called Safari Game, isn't there?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it's sort of an alphabetical game.
Yes, a word that starts with A, then you say something with a B, and I say like something with a C.
Burger. Do you have to start from the beginning each time?
I think you have to start with A all the time, yes.
Okay, so you go A is for apple, B is for burger, C is for cat.
Right.
And then you got to go apple, burger, cat.
No, you can't use them again, right?
Or you just keep using them. You add another one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
See, think about all the time that would fill up.
It's a very complicated game.
It is.
Like a little too high for us.
By the time we get to like F, we'd be in big trouble.
I was thinking, just like counting how many cars we pass or how many cars pass us.
Not bad.
How many SUVs you see? A lot of SUVs down here. It's
a lot of
in
SUVs.
the warm weather where you don't need them.
We're going to foul tip, and it's 2-1.
Neither one of us is a real joke guy. I mean,
No.
we don't have jokes.
I don't have any jokes.
I have nothing.
So that is chop foul down. You know what we should do? You know those audio books? We should get an audio book and listen to a book on the way back. That way we don't have to talk to each other. We'll let the narrator walk us through a story.
Might be not. That's a pretty good idea.
Bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It better be a good book because I'm driving and I don't want to be falling asleep.
You want a mystery? You want a thriller? What do you want?
I like biographies. I like the yeah.
Popped up left side from left field. I have no idea. Makes the catch. Who's that? It's Wilkerson who's in left. All right, so Wilkerson is now in left. He is at short, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Wilkerson in left, he at short.
I identified the gentleman in center field as Jacoby Ellsbury an inning ago, and I know.
It's not. It's Hissey.
I know Jacoby Ellsbury, and that's not Jacoby Ellsbury.
This is where you're really going to stay on top of your game.
This is Pete Hissey, who's in center field now. There's Pete.
Big, slow curveball that time from Padilla, that Ephus curveball.
Foul to the screen, and it's 0-2. Put Sednick second at bat.
I think tomorrow's going to be a 2 fill-up thing, too. I'm going to fill up tonight when I get home. And I got a feeling we're going to have to fill up again before we come back. The gas is very high down here in Southwest Florida. Gas is high everywhere, but extremely high down here.
Are you packing sandwiches for the trip or anything? Because it is going to be a long trip back.
I don't think so, no.
1-2 is high, and it is 2-2.
Tomorrow night's one of those nights when you get back, and it's probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock by the time I get to where I'm living. And so it's kind of like run out to the little Italian joint right at the top of the street, get a quick meal there.
Chopped right side. On to first for the out that ends the inning. 7.5 done, 10-3 Phillies. After our Bruins coverage, stay with us for Nesson Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial with Jamison Coyle. You'll see if BC, BU, and Maine will continue on the road to the NCAA Frozen Four College Hockey Championship. Plus a chat with UMass hoop coach Derek Kellogg as his team prepares for the NIT Final Four. And the Boston Globe's Nick Cafardo will bring you his Diamond Notes. It's all coming up on Nesson Daily tonight after our Bruins coverage, and it's only on Nesson. Sweet Caroline wrapping up here at JetBlue Park. Bottom of the 8th inning, 10-3, Phillies on top. Daniel Nava leading it off. The pitcher for the Phillies, Brian Sanchez, into the game. 6th appearance of the spring, no record, 4.50 ERA, 1 walk and 5 Ks. Fly ball lifted, foul, and out of play.
After tomorrow, we just have one more game remaining here in spring training. I believe that's against the Minnesota Twins.
It is
a week
here
from Sunday, and it'll be right here from JetBlue Park.
Team will have one additional game here, and then they head to Washington for an exhibition game. We will go to watch, and then on to Detroit to start the regular season. One two is down low, and it's 2-2. Here is the schedule for the remaining 3 weeks. Red Sox spring training wrapping up on the 3rd in Washington. Day off on Wednesday, and then day baseball in the beginning of the season in Detroit.
Now, you know, it may look like we got an easy week next week, but that's not true at all.
Not at all.
I have to do a recording session on Monday.
Yep.
I have to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Really?
Some recording studio down here in Fort Myers for the 100th anniversary CD. And
very nice.
The guy promised to make me sound good, so I said okay. And then I believe we have some type of photo shoot.
Big photo shoot on Tuesday.
Yeah.
This one fouled off to the left. I understand it is our entire team. Tom Caron will be flying in for the photo shoot. Jenny Dell is already here. Will be part of the photo shoot. You and I. So it's big.
Really big.
Yeah. Do we get any kind of timetable as to how long it? We're talking 3-4 hours worth of photo shoot, or
I don't think it'll take that long, but you know, they use the fans and all that stuff. The hair blows,
makeup.
Yeah.
Popped up foul off to the left.
That'll cost me for the program, I would imagine, and all Nesson publicity throughout the season. So
on buses, on
probably so, cabs, buses.
Yep.
Stuff like billboards.
Billboards, probably right on 93. Three-two pitch is ball 4. Nava works a walk to get the bottom of the 8th started. Here comes Jared Saltalamacchia. Shopik caught the first half of the game, and Saltalamacchia now into the game here in late stages. Is .222 average, a home run, 4 runs batted in so far during the spring. Popped up, foul ground. Luna going over as far as he can and makes the catch. Oh, nice play. Luna leaning into the Red Sox dugout to make that grab.
Very, very nice play by Luna at third base. Goes as far as he can. He takes a peek. He uses the railing to hold on to, and then reaches over to make the catch. Very nice play by Luna.
One out for Jonathan He. He in AA Portland last year hitting at .275. Maybe we could play Name That Song on the radio. Just keep flipping around radio channel.
I would probably do okay with classic rock.
Right.
But, you know, I think your taste in music is a little bit different than mine. I actually sat around last night for about 3 hours listening to music. I was totally bored out of my mind. And there was nothing on TV that interested me.
So you just sat in a room with music for 3 hours?
I went out on the porch.
Oh.
You know, well, down here they call it a lanai. I went out in the lanai, and I stuck in the earphones and just really kind of enjoyed myself for about.
Antisocial last night? No one else enjoyed your company?
No, my wife was reading and I was listening to music. We don't talk very much.
Is in the center field for a base hit. Jonathan He with a hit as Nava will take second base on the single.
Pretty good pitch. That ball down below the knees, but he able to get down with it and pick up the base hit. That's always a thrill to get a base hit in the major leagues.
Shannon Wilkerson is on deck. Nick Punto still in the game. Sends one foul off to the left. And so with a couple of hits today, single to center, and he is grounded out to short. 2 for 3 day. Popped up, shallow left. Deep was Podsednik. As the shortstop goes out, it falls. Duran then falls down, and everybody's going to be safe. Very deep was Podsednik, and he could not recover coming in. It's a base hit, and the bases are loaded with one down.
And Punto picks up his third base hit of the day. Podsednik can't get to it. Duran can't get to it. He had the best opportunity right there, but it looked like the sun bothered him a little bit as he had the glove up in the air and not able to make the catch.
Shannon Wilkerson comes up to bat here for the Red Sox. Bases loaded, one out. In the .251 last year at Salem. Little check swing, Nubber, foul. Shannon Wilkerson, a 6th round pick by the Red Sox in 2008. Time in Lowell, Greenville, and Salem. Born in Augusta, Georgia, resides in Tampa, Florida. Bases loaded, one out in the 8th. And a fly ball foul off to the right, 1-2. Bases filled with Red Sox, one down here in the 8th. Boston trailing by 7. That'll miss, and it evens at 2-2. Wilkerson playing at Augusta State University in Georgia. Set school records in batting, RBIs, total bases. fly ball down the left field line towards the pole, and it is a foul ball just to the left.
Oh, what a thrill that would have been for Wilkerson. Just missing the home run down the left field line. Turns around a pitch that's inside, tries to keep it fair, and just in foul territory. Imagine coming up and hitting a grand slam in the game in Major League Camp.
Wouldn't forget that.
What's Mark doing with the camera?
I don't know, but it's right in my grill. I think we're getting ready for our Nesson Daily hit.
Nesson Daily hit? You want to do it now?
Sure. What are we doing? What's the topic? Do we know?
Dustin Pedroia on whether he could adjust to Aviles and or Iglesias.
This has popped out, and it's out number 2 of the inning. So coming up.
Yeah, I think we'll do that probably next inning. I think we'll tape that during the inning and get that out of the way, get it ready for Nesson Daily.
But you'll have to wait till after the Bruins coverage tonight to actually see what we say, and we'll be more seated. I'll be back here probably further back.
And spin around. Yeah, that's a good idea. We can come back tonight and do it live.
Sure. What time? 1:30?
11 o'clock.
And then just head to Dunedin.
Yeah.
With our card games and or book audio. Which is in there for a strike. Pete Hissey in Salem last year. 241 and A ball. Ball, 1 strike to Hissey. Born in Pennsylvania, resides in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Red Sox 4th round pick in 2008. Was drafted out of high school. 1-1 is outside, 2-1. Team time, the Gulf Coast League Red Sox, Lowell, Greenville, and back-to-back years in Single-A Salem for Peter Hissey. Fly ball to shallow center. Out goes Duran. In comes Thompson, and it'll fall. Red Sox able to plate a couple. Get a little closer as it's now 10-5.
Al Duran's got to be wondering what's going on here this inning. I just can't get to a pop-up. That's 2 of them. One going toward left field, and this time going towards center field. Dropping in over his head. So Hissey has himself a hit, a couple of RBI. That's very dangerous for the center fielder there. Thompson, too, coming in as he had to slide to get out of the way of Duran, who was trying to make that catch. Might have been a better chance for the center fielder, Thompson.
2 down in the inning. 1st and 3rd now for the Red Sox. And here is Mauro Gomez, you saw the other night. Going to start at first base for the Red Sox. Takes a look at strike 1 over the outside corner. Gomez, 27 years old, from the Dominican Republic. His 10th professional season, first in the Red Sox organization. Spent all of last year at AAA. Gwinnett, the Braves AAA. Grounds it foul, was down 1-2.
Next week when we have our game against Minnesota on Sunday, I'm looking for the 25 to 55-year-old demographic to really tune in to that ball game. They usually join us later on in spring training.
The 1-2 pitch misses inside, and the count is 2-2.
And they'll get a very good look at what this club is going to look like heading into opening day.
So if you are between 25 and 55, Sunday is a big day.
Tune in.
Swing and a miss. Gomez strikes out to end the inning, but the Red Sox do get 2 runs in the inning. We head for the ninth. It's now 10-5. Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Ace Ticket. And by New Balance, the official footwear and apparel sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. New Balance, let's make excellent happen. Let's on to inning number 9, 10-5. Red Sox getting a couple runs back in the bottom of the 8th inning. 13-11 the hits in this one as the Philadelphia Phillies with the lead as a new pitcher on for the Red Sox. Garrett Mock is into the game now. Comes pitcher number 6 of the day for Boston. Pitched at AAA Syracuse last year. 16 appearances, 0-3. 6.28 earned run average. As many hits and walks and 32 strikeouts for Mock. Takes over for Vicente Padilla. He's in the Washington Nationals organization last year. Tuffy Goosewich to lead it off here for the Phillies. This one slap foul off to the right out of play, and it evens up at 1-1. Phillies scored early and often against Alfredo Aceves today. Alfredo going 3 innings, giving up 10 hits, 9 runs. He walked 1, struck out 3 in a very tough outing. Meanwhile, Felix Doubront on the other coast pitching for the other Red Sox team today in a split squad game against the Marlins over there in Jupiter. Went 6 innings, giving up 1 run. The competition continues. 2-1 to Goosewich. Fly ball to center field. Hissey goes back and pulls it in for the first out. Well, for Alfredo Aceves, mentioned the 9 runs he gave up. 3 of them were home runs. Back-to-back home runs in the second inning or in Galvis. And then a home run for Ruiz in the third inning. But a very difficult outing today for Aceves. Here's Edgar Duran with 1 out in the 9th. BU Minnesota coming up at 5 o'clock. BC is underway. They've got a 1-0 lead over Air Force. Fly ball to right field. Nava started back, now comes in and makes the catch. Congratulations to UMass Lowell. Had a 4-3 win in overtime last night. 5 wins all of last year. They come back this year. They play Union at 6:30 tonight, and if they win that, go to the Frozen Four. Pitch inside and hit with that pitch is Cartwright down to first base.
It's like a 2-seam fastball here from Mock that just runs inside and gets caught right off the uniform top.
Oh, let me hit for this guy. Let me hit for this guy. All right.
Rich Thompson, the batter, with 2 outs and a runner at first. That's a strike, and Mock is ahead now 1-2. Runner goes, and the pitch is a ball. Didn't offer. 2-2. Stolen base for Cartwright, who's now in scoring position with 2 down. Full count now to Thompson. 2 outs, runner at second base for the Phillies, batting in the top of the 9th inning. On top 10-5. Ball 4, and down to first base goes Thompson. So the Phillies have something going with 2 outs. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox earn a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards their $25,000 donation this season. 2 outs for Luna. who walked his last time up. To center field. Hissey had started back, now comes in and makes the catch. Nice pick out in center field. We head to the bottom of the ninth, 10-5 Phillies. Coming up next, we have one more great college hockey game for you this season. The BU Terriers will face off against the University of Minnesota in the first round of the NCAA tournament on the road to the Frozen Four. Our live coverage starts at 5, so stay with us and after the game. Bottom of the ninth inning back here at JetBlue Park. It's 10-5 Phillies on top of the Red Sox. Pitcher for the Phillies into the game now is Jake Diekman. Batting is Vidic, who struck out in the 7th inning as he takes strike one.
Well, we tried to tape a hit between innings, and I messed it up.
You blew it.
I blew it.
We got to do it again.
And blew it right at the end.
You were so close. You really were. You were one name away from wrapping it up, I think.
It's very frustrating when you do that. You got a good thing going, you got a good flow to it, and you just can't remember the guy's name.
I tried to help, but
yeah, it's too late.
Didn't work.
It wasn't smooth. It didn't.
On the ground left side, Duran at shortstop, off balance throw, gets enough on it for out number 1 of the 9th inning.
Now Duran making a nice one-handed play on the run with the strong throw to first base. Duran would prefer to have those ground balls, I think, right now than the pop-ups. The pop-ups have been giving him a problem.
One out in the 9th inning. Zach Gentile took over at second base. This one foul back to our left. Gentile in the Red Sox organization since 2008. First year was with Lowell. Red Sox 49th round pick. 2008. Out of Western Michigan University. Swing and a miss. Strikes out. The second out of the 9th inning.
Yeah, pretty nasty pitch there. That fastball away, outside corner, down. Very defensive swing. Just trying to make some kind of contact, hopefully fouling it off, but no contact by Gentile. 2 outs here in the 9th.
Daniel Nava to bat with 2 away. Nava takes ball 1 outside. Nava walking in the 8th inning in his first at bat. Popped up down the right field line, foul and out of play. In there for strike 2, and it's 2-2. Red Sox down to their last strike with 2 outs in the 9th. To center, and caught in center field by Thompson to end the ball game. So today, Jerry, was not Alfredo Aceves' day, unfortunately for Alfredo.
No, in a day where, you know, he was hoping to have a good outing. I think that what the real problem was is he just couldn't get the ball down where he wanted to in the strike zone. And it seemed like every time he made the mistake up, there was good, solid contact on it. So, and not the type of day that Alfredo wanted to have today, especially. And Dubron having a good day across the state, pitching against Miami.
Final score 10-5 for Jerry Remy and Jenny Dell. I'm Don Orsillo saying good afternoon from Fort Myers. Join us again tomorrow afternoon as the Red Sox head north to Dunedin to play the Blue Jays. Live coverage begins at 1 o'clock. This has been a presentation of NESN, New England's most watched sports network. Stay tuned next for the best of Don and Jerry. Join in progress.